Hello, Graham Cox from Moody Views. Yeah, I know it's been a long time, but I thought today we would put together a very small, simple little misty tree scene aimed really for beginners, just using a few pastels and a few pencils, and I hope you enjoy it. So for this little sketch piece, I'm just going to use my 14 Sky Plus pastel set and my set of Caran d'Ache super soft pastel pencils. Right, so I'm going to start with the pale blue. This is the 505.8. Just using the side of the pastel, just run some colour in. And I'm going to mix with that a little bit of the 5487, which is the lighter of the blue violet colours. And then I'm going to blend those two colours together. And this first blend, you may not completely fill all the blank paper patches that are there, so we'll give that a good blend and then we'll just go back in and add a little bit more colour to it. So back to the same colour again, the first one, the 5058. This is the ultramarine light. Not pressing hard, just let the pastel pick out on the tooth of the paper. And then back to the 5487. And then I'm going to put a hint of the darker blue. This is the 5067 Ultramarine Deep, just at the top. And then again we'll just give that a blend. And once I've blended this lot, I don't really want there to be any bare paper patches showing through. That's giving that a good push in. And I'm going to add a little bit of pink to the lower part of the sky. So this is the 3718. Just a little hint of that in the lower part of the sky, and then we'll just mix that lightly with the colours that are already there. So that it's just showing. The more you keep blending it, the more it'll keep mixing and the lighter it'll go. So you can keep going until you're happy with the tone. I'm just trying to go in for this kind of misty look. That's fine. Perhaps a little touch more of that darker blue. There we go. Okay. So for my furthest distant tree, this is the one that'll be the smallest and the lightest in tone. I'm going to use the 506 light grey pastel pencil. So I'm looking for a line somewhere there. So my smallest tree, so I'm using the side of the point to give me a kind of tree shape in the distance, leaving a few gaps, a few holes. That'll do. Doesn't even look like a tree. What I'm going to do with that is with a fingertip, just lightly, tiny little circles, just blend it so that's mixing with the sky colours.
to give this shape that's kind of there in the distance in the mist. No detail whatsoever, just a shape. Just softened in. I'm going to use the same colour for the next tree, which will be slightly bigger, and it will come just in front of this one. Same technique, use the side of the point bring that across in front of that other tree. Same again, soften it down, just gently, little tiny circles. Just let it blend, just darken that a touch more so it contrasts against that distant tree. And then what I'm going to do with this tree is just add a little hint of colour onto it, a little hint of the warmer brown. So this is the 047 pastel pencil. Again, side of the point, just looking for a little hint of colour on it. Not all over it, just one or two little spots. Give that a little blend, just gently. This is what helps give it this misty look, is when you make it look almost out of focus. And then I'm going to add a little touch of orange highlights onto the top ends of that. And I'm going to introduce a tiny little bit of darker brown. This is the 408. And again, just soften it. I'm not worried about smudging it downwards because we can always clean that up with the eraser. That's better. And a little hint, just a little hint of some branches, and I don't want to put too much detail in or it'll start to come forward, and I want it to sit back. Tap it to take the edge off of it. That'll do for there. And I'm going to do another tree here that's slightly in front of this one, slightly nearer. But first I'm going to bring a little bit of foreground field into this area here. So I'm just lightening the furthest part of the field, and this light will help to give the the foreground a bit of recession. As things get further away, they get lighter in tone. So by just lightening the far end of the field, and it gets darker as it comes down, it helps to give this illusion of distance on a flat piece of paper. So still using just the side of the point of the pencil. This is what gives us texture. And then a little hint of green into it, just a little touch. And I'm just going to run my finger over that and blend that together. So now this nearer tree is actually going to start a little lower down. And I'm going to use the slightly darker greys. This is the 008. So this tree is beginning down here. That's going to be the base. So top of the tree. So now you get the illusion that that field goes behind this tree. So that's the grey colour, so that's the 008. On top of that, I'm going to drop in a little bit of the 408, which is the darker brown I used for the trunks on the other tree there. Just lightly, side of the point, round and round, tiny little circles. I'm not going to cover all that grey up. I'm just darkening some of the more shadowy parts of this tree in the centre and on the undersides of the foliage, and into this bushy area that's down here. Okay, so we've got two colours on there. Now I'm going to go back to the warmer brown. The 047. Still using the side of the point. But again, I'm not covering all the previous colours. I'm just trying to pick out little highlights where what light there is in this sort of misty light is just catching the top edges here and there. Okay, a little bit of orange. Let's have a little bit of deeper red. So this is 069. Touch of that in it here and there as well. Just little patches of it and a touch of orange. Okay, back to the dark brown. There's the 408. And what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to bring the trunk down in front of those bushes. Darken the base of those a little bit more. Perhaps a few little posts in there. Okay, I'm going to take the light pink colour, the flesh colour, 741, and just put a lighter edge and then to the white one, a little highlight. On there. So what I'm going to do now is just bring this foreground forward now to the bottom of the picture. So undercolour first. So I'm going to bring a little bit of the orange colour, still using the side. And then we'll just have a little bit of a puddle. That'll do for that. Now we're going to gradually just give that a little blend. Not touching the puddle though, just the orange colour to give me a base colour. So that pushes the orange down into the texture or the tooth of the paper. Now we can start to gradually build up the colours on top of that. So this colour is the 039, which is kind of a mucky green colour. Just take that into that puddle area. Just nice long strokes at the side of the point. See the texture that's appearing there? That's because the side of the point is running across the grain of the paper. It's putting the colour on the little bumps but not down in the little hollows. And that's what gives you that texture. If you blend it, you'll take it away. A little touch of the red colour. And then a little bit of the warmer brown. That's the 047, and then the 408, which is our dark colour that we used on the branches of the tree. And by making the foreground darker like that, it gives the picture depth. It pushes everything back. Look at a few little stones. And that trunk would be reflected in there. So I'm just giving a little hint of that in the puddle there. I'm going to use the colour shaper tool just to break that reflection up a bit. A little hint of dark in one or two spots. The edge of the puddle would all be muddy And then I'm going to use the black pencil and just darken that bottom of there, and we'll put a bird in there as well. So that's just using a few colours, a few pastels, a few pencils, and creating a lovely little scene, misty scene, few trees, a bit of textured foreground. I hope you enjoyed that. All the materials I've used here are available on the Moody Views website. The pastels, the paper, the pencils, everything, colour shaper. So www.moodyviews.co.uk, and go to the pastels, tools and paper page, and you'll find everything there. Thank you very much.